Good afternoon and welcome to Simply the Truth. I'm just making sure that the mic was okay. Simply the Truth this afternoon with me, Tom Chacko. And if you're expecting to see Doug Harris, I'm not Doug Harris as you can see, but he's taking a break today, and he'll be back with you shortly in the next program, I'm sure of it. And you're going to see a little bit more of me in Simply the Truth in the next few months. Just sitting in for Doug and to help him out while he's busy doing other things. But welcome to the regular viewers who watch this program. As you know, it is always about the truth, simply put, so to speak. So we have to look at the Bible, look at current issues, and whatever that needs to be looked at. This is a program for you. We will look at it, and obviously this is an interactive program. You can ring us, email us, text us with questions you may have. And today, especially, we're going to look at the whole area of evangelism and how the impact it has on not only the individual, but in the church and upon nations and all over the world. This is a very, very important subject in the Bible, because Jesus was very clear about his mission, why he came for, and how he passed that message on to his disciples. And this is what we call the Great Commission. So there's that whole area of taking the good news to wherever we may be, to our neighbors, wherever we may be, that good news of Jesus Christ has to be shared. In order to discuss this further, we have a very, very good friend of the show with us, John Goodway. John is a pastor of the Forest Row Baptist Church there in Forest Row, East Sussex. He's no stranger to us. He's been on the program before with Doug, and some of you have been blessed by what he had to say. And we're going to explore a little bit more about John from the last program, and to dig deeper into some of the things he's getting up to, and maybe discuss some of the things in his heart right now, and to share from the scriptures even some of the things that God has been speaking to him in these days, and some of the things that he's involved in the last few months since he's been with us. So John, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Yeah, it's lovely to be with you again. Yeah.
And as I said, I was trying to introduce the program, and simply the truth, and it takes your breath away sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just saying that, simply the truth. It is simply the truth,
simply
isn't it?
The truth.
Is it? That's what the whole gospel is about.
Yeah.
Simply telling the truth about Jesus.
And sadly, man has tried to kind of complicate it so much, but the gospel truth is simple. It's for everyone to understand. So yeah, simply the truth. Great show to be on.
Indeed. And it's simple but not simplistic.
No, absolutely.
Right? And
absolutely.
I think you need to make that distinction.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, what have you been doing since the last time you've been on the program?
Pastoring a church. And the whole challenge of, I suppose, having been a door-to-door evangelist for some 7 years, and then coming into what you might see as a smaller arena, but with a lot more complexity and a lot more stuff going on. Getting more involved in people's lives, which is always a challenge for all of us. And seeing how that fits with evangelism. Very much, we just recently had a Pastor Robert over with us from Uganda, and he was trying to help me to understand that he said, no longer are you the evangelist, but you're here to enable others to go out and to reach the lost. And it's that kind of understanding how that more teamwork than before, yeah.
Well, we have Jesus himself sent his disciples 2 by 2.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's a team thing, isn't it? It's not a lonely person, a lone ranger doing his thing. No. So that's very good. And now we're going to explore a little bit more about your work. Yeah. And you mentioned about you're a pastor since February.
Yeah, February 1st.
We'll look into that.
Yeah.
But let's just tell us a little bit about who you are and about your Christian experience. Yeah. And just your testimony.
Okay. Well, basically, I come from Dorset. And down in Dorset, had an army father, staff sergeant at Bovington Camp, and come from a non-Christian background. My father never sort of actively encouraged us to go to church or have anything to do with the church, and so kind of just made your own way through life, as it were. Left school as soon as I could. Whether that was good or bad, I'm not sure. Looking back, I think, it was the right decision at that time. Been very much involved in horticulture, which is my first, what I would call secular love, plants and trees and landscaping and stuff. But after that, I kind of had an opportunity back in '71, something like that, to become a professional disc jockey, which I did down in Brighton, and had some good fun and great times there. And one of the benefits of that is in horticulture is a very difficult job to raise enough money to buy your own home. And so when I became a disc jockey, I had the opportunity then to have enough resources to take a mortgage and now to have my own home. So that was good. But also gave me the people skills. But obviously as a disc jockey, knowing God wasn't very important. There was a lot of other things that appeared to be important, but that wasn't. And I always joked, and I share with many people, that on a Sunday evening in one of my shows, the Salvation Army ladies used to come in rattling their boxes and issuing their war cries. And to me, when you're trying to gain an atmosphere in a place like that, to have these people come in, it kind of brings it down. So I was very anti. And strangely enough, some years ago, just only a couple of years ago, when I was in Lewis prison dealing with some prisoners, one of the prisoners came up to me and he said, "I remember you when you was a disc jockey." And I said, "Yeah, at the Cliftonville." He said, "Yeah." And I said, "How come you're in here?" Because when the Salvation Army people used to come around, he used to always put money in the box, where I was really kind of trying to get them out of the place, you know. He used to put money in the box, and sadly he'd gotten involved in drugs and etc., etc. So there it was, this whole turnaround, that this disc jockey was now in the prison in ministry, and here he is in there as a cellmate, as it were. But praise the Lord, he gave his life during a course that we were running there, and so he's in a better place.
But it's interesting you mentioned about horticultural. I mean, you've been a gardener, you've been a professional gardener, and you know, obviously that you've got something in common with the Father in heaven,
absolutely,
who's a gardener.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting that also your disco thing, and you're doing that, two different atmospheres, isn't it? One serene and calm, and birds chirping around you, and you're with nature. Next minute you're in a building, lights are low, people are drunk, you can play anything you like, and people go dance to anything, don't they?
But of course, there again is the balance of life, is the fact that on the one you have all that serenity, but no cash. Where with the other one, although it's more bawdy and kind of real, as it were, you know, that's where you could earn good bucks, as it were. So
I find it fascinating because you also did some milk franchising as well.
Yeah, that was.
What's that about?
Yeah, I lost a wife to cancer in 1990, and it was kind of so hard for me because I kind of had put all my eggs in one basket. This woman was kind of everything in my life. She was my friend, and etc. And when she died, we struggled for 5 years through treatment and all of that. And so when she died, it was really hard for me. And one of the things that I share with many people is one of the hardest times was like 3 to 5 in the morning. That kind of very early bit where it's not light enough to go out and do anything. And you lay in bed and you get these thoughts in your head, and they just go on and on and on. And they tend to drive you nuts. And so I had an opportunity after she died. I was looking after a big estate, and I had an opportunity afterwards to go and a friend of mine had a newsagent in Burwash, and he said, "Look, you know, you need to get among people, you need to get out more." And he gave me a weekend manager's job, which is really freaky because I'd never done retail, never been involved with computers or any of that. So he just launched me in. And while I was doing that, I did a couple of years of there, and I heard that they were looking for milkmen, and my mornings I was just so struggling. And so I just applied. I just said, well, I'll go and do this. Anybody can deliver milk. And took a franchise milk round, and yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, it got me out. I suppose the problem was I put all my life into that, because it's and the business grew and grew and grew. So initially I'd start it